What, in your opinion, are the current challenges in the industry?
One of the largest challenges for service providers today is the ongoing commoditization of data. There's a steady downward pressure on pricing and a steady increase in demand for bandwidth. So this, of course, is driving up costs and lowering revenue. The second challenge is in the new forms of competition that operators are facing. This really requires innovation in service development and more agility in service provisioning, and getting the solutions into the customer's hands. And lastly, digital transformation is an enormous challenge, requiring refactoring of business processes across the organization. Operators today are having to become operators of software instead of operators of hardware. And this requires a new skill set with their staff, and the ways that they acquire products from their vendors also need to change in the face of this.
We keep hearing these buzzwords like NFV and SDN. Can you please explain the differences between these?
NFV and SDN are related but distinct concepts. The goal with Network Functions Virtualization, NFV, was to move from vertically aligned stacks for each application to horizontally aligned resourcing. So what that means is that an operator would be able to make a common investment in servers, switches, storage, across a large number of the applications on the network. And in this way, they have a common investment in both a capital expenditure standpoint as well as an operational expense standpoint. And that improves efficiencies a great deal. The idea with network function virtualization is that vendors who previously had provided appliances would provide software applications only that would run on any vendor's NFV infrastructure. Software-defined networking, SDN, is related. It is the idea of taking the control software, the logic decisions out of the network packet routers and switches and remotely hosting it. So that this allows network elements to have less memory, less computing power, to host that centrally where there is more computing power, memory, storage, etc. available. But even more so, many of these network elements can then be under common control by an SDN controller. And this allows very intelligent applications to be run across the network.
What are the drivers for operators to consider NFV? What value do you see for NFV in the VAS domain?
NFV has the potential to solve some of the key challenges that operators are facing. Resource utilization is a key issue. With NFV, an operator is able to make an investment in a common resource pool and manage that as a common resource pool, deploying the applications on top of that. This also provides for agility, as these applications can be more dynamically provisioned, elastically provisioned, and you can bring new services on very quickly without incremental investments in hardware. For VAS infrastructure, it presents a particular opportunity, as VAS infrastructure applications have historically been deployed on general purpose computers, whereas core network elements have been appliances, proprietary hardware. So VAS applications, as already software-only applications, are a natural fit for NFV and are easier to fit into that environment than things like EPC or RAN. RAN has some very distinct problems and will be the last one to be done, Evolved Packet Core it still has some pretty big challenges, but those are being worked today, and operators are looking at deploying those. But IMS is a lot easier to accomplish. VAS, in comparison to RAN or EPC, is almost trivial to port to an NFV environment, at least initially.
What value does Wavenet bring to the VAS space with NFV?
One of Wavenet's key value propositions is our consolidated VAS. We're able to support multiple VAS types such as SMS, MMS, and USSD in the same platform. Within an NFV environment, this allows one elastically scalable VNF to support all of that traffic, and its overall capacity is deployed in a dynamic fashion, scaling in and out with the overall capacity. In addition, our flexible licensing allows the TPS license to be shared across the overall traffic capacity of all those types. Additionally, Wavenet's service creation solutions allow operators to innovate new services and deploy them into their NFV environments very quickly and easily. This allows the agility to deploy new services and utilize the real-time capacity management in the NFV environment to distribute all the load across existing and new services.
As we wrap up, what is your prediction for the future of operators?
Software is eating the network. Cloud computing has revolutionized enterprise IT already, and as cloud computing becomes more pervasive, it comes down out of the stratosphere and becomes fog around us. In that environment, the service providers are necessarily becoming cloud computing providers. Their central offices are moving from proprietary equipment into data centers. So service providers will be running more data centers in a number of years than Amazon and Google are today. This means that operators are becoming operators of software running in data centers. And those data centers are distributed with mobile edge computing. They're distributed right out to the base stations. And why this is important is when you look at important new applications such as content caching locally and the Internet of Things. The Internet of Things is bringing many new applications that the networks aren't ready for today. With Internet of Things, the actual devices are very small, cheap, and don't have memory and processing, but they have communications. So with a broadband network, the computing can be done in the network and not in the devices. But of course that needs to be done quite locally, close to the source of the data, as most of these Internet of Things applications are data acquisition. So the service providers are providing a smart network, a network which is very much cloud computing. That's where the future revenue is coming from with operators. They're developing and deploying software services to their customers.